Come fly with me, let's fly away. If you can.
Hi everybody, Brent Kluge with 203kworld.com. Video blogs, and today's topic is to use a HUD consultant or not on your 203k. Well, 203ks are great loans. Just real quick, they are a loan that allows you to buy a house in as-is condition, plus escrow money to fix it up, all in one loan. So there are two types of loans. We have the Streamline, which is $35,000 or less in total renovation costs, or a full K. Now, a full K, you must have a HUD consultant. There's a few odd caveats like self-help and some other things, but by and large, full 203Ks, renovation amounts above $35,000, or some of the odd things like if there's structural work that it doesn't qualify for Streamline, you must have a HUD consultant. What is a HUD consultant? HUD consultants are licensed by HUD. They're independently licensed. They're not affiliated with any lender. They're not affiliated with any contractor. At least they shouldn't be. Now, they fill out paperwork that they swear and attest to their independence. So you want to make sure that that's the case. Not all 203K consultants are created equal. Technically, HUD requires the lender to choose the HUD consultant. What I do is in the state of Maryland, for instance, there are about 120 203K licensed HUD consultants. I would say half of them are inactive or at least don't do business, and another big chunk of them are actually contractors that kind of do this on the side. I don't want folks that, let's say, have a conflict of interest or maybe an ulterior motive. So there's a small amount of consultants that I will actually work with. Speak to your lender, find a good consultant. Talk to your lender. Who would you appoint? Here's the question for you. Do you use a consultant on the Streamline? Well, some people do, some don't. And there's a few things that you need to consider to determine if it makes sense. Let's talk a little bit about the process of a 203K Streamline. On the Streamline K, Streamlines are renovations of $35,000 or less. No structural, it's mostly cosmetic repairs. You can do kitchens and remove mold and that sort of thing, but the definitive piece is total construction cost, including fees and any contingencies you may have, are $35,000 or less. So, consultant, do you need one with a Streamline? The true answer is no. Maybe your lender mandates it, but for the most part, HUD guidelines for sure say no, and most of the lenders out there do not require a consultant on a Streamline. But you may be setting yourself up for some issues. Let's talk about the process. So, you find a place for sale. You want to buy it. It has some things wrong with it. It's a foreclosure. It has some mold in the basement. Somebody, when they left, they took the kitchen. Somebody came in and broke a bunch of windows and vandalized the place. And they also took the HVAC when they left. Typical. See it a lot, actually. So you want to come in and get the thing fixed up and buy it. So you put an offer on it. You choose to put an offer on it. Once you get your offer accepted, now it's time to do your due diligence inspections and determine just what's wrong with the place. So you believe, hey, I can keep these costs under 35. I talked to my lender, so I'm going to go Streamline. I don't need a consultant. So you bring in your contractor, a buddy of yours maybe, I don't know. He checks it out. You bring in an HVAC guy to do the HVAC piece. The contractor bids the kitchen and the mold remediation and all the other pieces, and you come up with a neatly packaged plan to get the house fixed up. You submit this to your lender. Your lender then takes that information, proves the contractor, packages it all up, and then orders the appraisal. Now here's typically the issue, is that it takes some time to get all this together. So you are late in the game. So most contracts say you will apply for mortgage after ratification of contract within 5 days, and you will go to loan commitment within 30 or maybe 45. But the thing is, if you took 2 or 3 weeks to get these numbers together, now we submit to the appraiser. So we send the appraiser out, and he goes out and looks at the house and says, okay, I look at the house, I'm going to give it a value and say that it's going to be worth X when we fix all these things up that are on your contract list. I see here you have a contract for the HVAC from a mechanical contractor, an HVAC contractor, and then you have your GC, your general contractor, bidding the rest of the work. Well, the issue is this. The appraiser is the first set of eyes that knows HUD minimum property standards, and the first set of eyes that have bid on your project. And it's late in the game. So now, what if the appraiser says, well, you know, I like your write-up, but you missed these handrails. We need handrails on the steps. You missed all this chipping and peeling paint has to be fixed and remedied. You missed, you know, these 5 broken windows that don't stay up. You missed these, you know, you didn't put in the write-up that you were putting in a new stove. I don't know. The idea is that this appraiser is the first time that someone looks at the property concerning HUD minimum property standards. So invariably, he'll complete the appraisal and he'll have a list of HUD predications, FHA predications, things that need to be fixed that weren't on your list. So now you have to go back and then have your contractor adjust the things, change it. It changes your loan amount. Now we have to rework the numbers, redisclose. Now it takes us longer. Processing is back involved again. And then we have to get the numbers right, get the contracts right, give them back to the appraiser. He may or may not want to reinspect. I don't know. But then he finalizes the appraisal, and then we can submit to underwriting. The point is that we really slowed up our progress because we waited until late in the game to have someone's eyes on the project who knows HUD minimum property standards. What's the solution? Here's my suggestion. This isn't what HUD says. This is just through my experience. I'm almost up to about 4,000 203Ks, so I kind of know how the flow goes. And this is what I've seen work best for my clients, and it's this. When you go into a house, anytime you buy a house, you should do a home inspection. So if you're going to pay a home inspector to go in and inspect a house, here around Maryland, depending on the size of the house, it runs anywhere from, say, $300 to $500 for a true full home inspection. Is going to tell you, this home inspection is going to tell you essentially what's wrong with the house or give you a really good idea as to what needs to be fixed. So you should do that anytime you buy a place. In this example on a Streamline, we need those HUD minimum property standard set of eyes on the property as early as possible. So what I advise my clients to do is I will refer them to a home inspector, or they can choose their own, of course, but a home inspector that is also duly licensed 203K consultant. So now the home inspector / consultant will go in and do the exact same thing. He'll go through the house with a fine-tooth comb, looking for everything that's wrong with it. He'll do the standard home inspection report, and for only a small additional fee now, we'll give you your 203K feasibility study. Now, what is this? This isn't a complete plans and specs that's used for a full 203K. It's a feasibility study. It gives you a short list of all the needs in his eyes of what is needed to be fixed on the house with FHA minimum property standards in consideration. So, in order to cut down on the process and the pitfalls, get a set of HUD eyes on the project as soon as possible to give you a good idea of what needs to be fixed as far as HUD is concerned. Once you have that, you'll be able to structure your project with all the HUD minimum requirements in your renovation. Of course, you can add all your wish list items to it as well, but you'll have those in there first so that you're not surprised later and slow up your project, upset sellers and upset lenders and upset everyone. So, nice little helpful hint. If you need to find a 203K consultant, please ask your lender. Your lender probably knows the better ones in the area of who to work with. If not, look down in the bottom here in the comments section. I'll post a link to HUD where you can see 203K consultant list. And difficult to do your due diligence because you don't know who's good and who's not. So I still recommend you find a consultant through your lender. So thanks for listening to me here at 203kworld.com. I'm your host, Brent Kluge. As always, I'll be trying to come back and give you helpful 203K information. If you did like what you heard, please click like down the bottom for YouTube. And even so, if you really liked it or want to check back, please click subscribe. Thanks very much. Go out, enjoy your life, buy houses, make equity, have fun.
Come fly with me, let's fly away. If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar in far Bombay. Come fly with me, let's fly away.